Good afternoon. This is Uplift. My name is Reverend Sam Flynn, and I'm a staff minister at Vision, and I'm happy to be with you today. Today we're going to talk about being in the present moment. And so we get to do that for the next 15 minutes, and I'm happy to do that with you, and we're going to start with prayer. So let's do that now. So what I know is that we are here in the midst of spirit, and that this is spiritual moments that we share together, and so I just give thanks for that, knowing that here in the midst of love we get to share our time together, knowing that these are words of calming, words of education, words of opening and remembrance of the wholeness that is God. And so just giving thanks for all of that. I know that the blessing that this is, that we get to share with each other with this time, knowing that it is the truth of love in all things. And so giving thanks for it, I let it be now, and so it is. And so, like I told you, I want to talk to you today about being in the present moment, because that's something that we hear a lot. We hear those words, being in the present moment, so often. And what I know for myself is that I've heard that, all through my spiritual life, that being in the present moment is a good thing. And so, many great teachers through the ages of about being in the present moment and what it's like to do that. And so some of you might wonder, well, why would I want to be in the present moment? That's what I'm trying to get away from, to be from the present moment. Why don't I want to be? Why would I want to? I can't wait till I'm somewhere else. I want to be somewhere else, and so or wishing that I was this or that. So why would I want to I want to wish away this moment now, and so because I don't like it, and so why would I ever want to do that? And so understanding why you want to be in the present moment is something that is a learned, for me anyway, it's been a learned task and a learned practice, and something that I've become very grateful for over time. And that's one of the things that is the most important, one of the most important starting stages, is learning about time. And that's the first thing to let go of: the past, the present, and the future, and to learn about those different aspects of to consider, to just let go of that perception of time. The master teacher of being in the now is Eckhart Tolle, who's probably the present day master of being in the now. And I have a quote for you. He writes, "To be free of time is to be free of the psychological need of the past for your identity, and the future for your fulfillment." And so just thinking of the past as something that defines us, and thinking of the future, I'm going to be fulfilled in the future. And so starting to think about those things is the beginning of learning about the now, and that the now is where we are defined, and the now is the truth of our nature. And that becomes so freeing as you practice that. And so Eckhart, who's one of my favorite people, in case you haven't noticed, or I'm going to tell you that, he's one of my favorite people. He also writes, "I remind you of a fact so obvious that you may find it hard to grasp. The present moment is all you ever have. There is never a time when your life is not the now moment." And so that is something that, it seems very simple when you read it, when you hear it, when you think about it, but if you practice it, if you really think about it, right now is all we ever have, because the next word that I'm about to say is always the next word that I'm about to say, which is a really interesting thing to play around with, but it's really true. Emily Dickinson writes, "Forever is composed of the nows," and I bring that one in to just say that there's masters of practicing the now in many different philosophies, and it's said many different ways. And so it's something that grows over time, that we practice it. It's something that expands over time as we practice it. You hear more and more of it as you think about it too. You hear more and more about being in the now. I know I've been doing this for many years, and like I said, it takes on many, many levels. So being in the now right now as we're talking about this, you might start to feel yourself, well, first being confused if you haven't ever done this before, but also as you practice it more and more, you start to feel it, get a sense of being relaxed. You start to appreciate what's around you. You start to be able to notice that's becoming mindful. The Buddhists call that being mindful. You get to appreciate what's around you physically. You get to appreciate what's around you emotionally. You get to appreciate what's around you spiritually, because you're available to notice these things. I can tell you what happens as well is life takes on a sense of wonder, a sense of excitement, a sense of vibrancy, of just become aware of what's right in front of you, and it makes it very, very exciting. Buddhists sometimes call this the middle way. That's a technique that the Buddhists use, and it's the wording that the Buddhists use is called the middle way, and it's also what I'm talking about now, this being in the present moment, being in the center, being centered. Different philosophies call it different things, but it's the same idea of just being available to what's around you in the immediate moment. To be able to notice, what do I see, what do I hear, what do I taste? That's in the physical sense. Another thing that happens when being in the present moment is I'm available to surrender things, to surrender what's happening, to surrender thoughts that I might be having, to surrender what I think might be what should be happening, just to surrender it and let it go and let the universe decide what should be happening. It's much easier to let go of judgments. That's another one that's we start learning about. If letting go of judgment frees up so much in the mind and the heart to just let go of judgments, because I'm here in the present moment. I'm available to do that. Easier to release habits. That's another thing that you're available to, releasing habits. Another reason to do it, another reason to try to be present is reduces stress, reduces pain. If you have chronic pain, being present helps to reduce chronic pain. Boosts the immune system. The body starts reacting when I can be more present in the moment. Lowers your blood pressure. Studies have found that it lowers your blood pressure when you're in the present moment. All of these things are the response to being in the present moment. So just taking that breath, just taking a breath like that reminds ourselves to be present. And so affirmations can help bring us present. I already talked about affirmations that can do that. Where am I physically? Where am I emotionally? Where am I spiritually? Spiritually, we have goals. We can make plans spiritually, but in the present moment, we are always whole. We are always complete. We are always perfect. And so that's an affirmation to use in a spiritual way. I am whole. I am complete. I am perfect. Emotionally, how am I feeling? Physically, using the senses to see what's around you. These are ways to become present. I don't know if when you do that, I can feel myself slowing down inside, even as I'm describing these things to you. I can feel my body becoming softer. It just becomes softer. Like I said, there's many, many levels to being in the present moment. Many, many levels as study begins to happen, as practice begins to happen. You'll notice for yourself it's a very, very personal journey. I'm excited for you to try it, to start practicing it. Because it is a very extensive and enjoyable journey to do that. It is an exciting, well, I can call it exciting. It can be fun. It can be enjoyable. Like I said, I can recommend Eckhart Tolle as a teacher, a great teacher. He has many books that you can read on the subject. He has many exercises that you can do. You can just practice being in the now, being in the. You pause at any time during your day to practice being in the now. Because at work, at home, anywhere that you are, you can always find benefit to being in the now. And so even right now, I can practice being in the now by saying that I'm here with you now, completely speaking to you. And depending on where you are, I hope you can be in the now. I have no idea where you are listening to this, but just practice. All you have to do is just take that breath. Be with where you are. If you're driving, just be there driving. If you're there with your kids, just be there with your kids. Just be in the present moment of whatever it is you're doing or not doing. It can be an active practice or a quiet practice. It can be in the midst of wherever you are, be there fully with it. Just being in the present moment, because being in the present moment is being with life itself, and that is the practice of all things, is to be fully with life itself, and that is being fully with yourself, which is the greatest aspect of all things. And so what I know is that we're whole, complete, and perfect in all things, and the now moment is whole, complete, and perfect in all things as well. And so I'll end with that, and I'll also end with a prayer. And so let's do that now, just knowing that this prayer and this moment is whole, complete, and perfect, and it is in that very moment of now that I know that now is all love and all peace and all joy, and I just give thanks for it, knowing that as I share these words, that they are words of spirit, and that they embrace each one who is listening with that sense of the divine, that sense of enjoyment, that sense of the experience of life to its fullest, and I just give thanks for it. I give thanks for this time. I give thanks for wherever these words and whenever these words are being heard and shared, for I know it is done in a beautiful way, in the way that is divine and perfect for each one, and I just give thanks for it, and I simply let it be now, knowing it is perfect, surrendering it, I let it be, and so it is.